Hello and welcome to a Christmas special Harv's Tips. We've had a few wins last week. One punter won 500 quid, took the singles on. Mr. Malarkey on the final leg at 14-1, came in very nicely. Always trust a Skelton horse, but today I thought we'd spice it up and get a fellow punter in and a fellow bloke who follows the races and also bowls some absolute belters for the mighty KKR. It's a very warm welcome to Harv's Tips to Mousy.
Afternoon, mate. Well, evening.
Evening,
Merry
yeah.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and all of you.
I wouldn't say some belters, though.
No, yeah, bit of mystery.
Little medium paces, mate. Little medium paces.
That's it, mate. That's it. Well, I've got a bit of Shablies on the go. So anyway, should we just crack straight into it? Let's keep it short and sweet today. We're just looking at form
of course.
Today. So it's the 150 at Kempton, the 205 at Wetherby, the 215 at Leopardstown, and the 3 o'clock at Kempton, the big one, the big daddy. So if we look at the 150 at Kempton, I'll just say, what I think, those of you that watch will know what I'm going to back. It's no secret that I'm a big believer in a Skelton horse, and it ticks two boxes for me because it's got the Wetherby form, and I'm going Sham Blue here. I've got my blue flag flying. Harry and Dan are going to do the business in the 150. It won really easy at Wetherby. It's fast, fluent jumping. It's everything you look for in a Skelton horse, and the big rival. I think you're going to touch on it now, Mouse, aren't you?
Yeah, I've gone against you here, mate, and I've gone with the big breakaway for Colin Tizard. He won his chase debut over 3 miles for Cheltenham on his seasonal reappearance. His last run was over 2 mile 3 furlongs, which is way too short for him. He finished in front of Sham Blue at the festival as well. Yeah. And I always thought he was going to be a better chaser than he was hurdler. So the favourite has looked a natural over fences, but big breakaways 1-1 of this trip over fences. I just think he's the value for me.
So you're going against me. So you're going for the value on the big breakaway. So we picked 4 horses. Yep. So you've got it 3-1. I've gone short. Yeah. I've gone for an easy start. I've gone for 7-4 on Sham Blue. I backed it a few days ago. But for me, I can't change a winning formula on a Skelton's horse. If I think he's going to have a winner on the day, Sham Blue's the one. But this is why we get another voice in the big break. Yeah. So we move on to the 205 at Wetherby. This is Wetherby's big race of the day. It's a great card in there. We've got plenty of sort of market activity that's been moving around that I've been watching. I think sort of Canelo's going to look in the favourite for King and Bellamy, and O'Mara's got Ryan Manny is on board with Snow Leopardess, the second favourite. But for me, I've gone for number 6. Springtown Lake. It just ticks the boxes for me. He's competitively handicapped, and that's what you've got to look at. Me and you both live in the region, and it's been very wet recently here. So this could
be very soft.
It's gonna be a tough trip. It always is at Wetherby. And for me, it's 7-1. I think that's the value bet in the 205. But I know you're sort of going against me here. So what have you got, mate?
I've gone for Snow Leopardess here. Won a good race at last time at Haydock. He stayed on very strongly. I backed him that day. He got up just on the line. It was just over 3 miles. Same trip today. I think the Wetherby straight will really suit him. It's a big long straight at Wetherby. You need to be a real good stayer, and should guarantee stamina. And the form has been franked as well from that Haydock win. I think everything points to a big run.
Carrying a nice weight as well.
I think everything points to a big run. Lightly raced for an 8-year-old as well. So another one I'd like to make a bit of a case for as well. That's a bigger price would be Windsor Avenue.
Yeah,
he pulled up at Cheltenham last time.
Yeah,
calmer waters today with a hot Cheltenham handicap. Not all horses, are suited to Cheltenham handicaps, like a big handicap at Cheltenham. And I think he could run a decent race as well at a bigger price.
Yeah, and Ellison, you know, he's in sort of good form at the minute, and you sort of looking at Windsor Avenue's form. It's, you know, it's a bit up and down. It came first at Carlisle last year, then second at Donny, then it fell, and it comes second again at Carlisle, and then pulled up at Cheltenham, as you say, on the 12th. But you know, you've got to sort of take the Cheltenham form out of it and sort of look at why he's targeting that race. And you know, that's similar to why I'm looking at Springtown Lake. You know, I'm looking for a bit of value there. Obviously, you can't sort of dismiss Spirit of the Games, Bridget Andrews Skelton. But for me, my pick is Springtown Lake, and you're going with Snow Leopardess on yourself. So it's number
Around 4-1, 9-2 at the minute.
Yeah, 9-2. Snow Leopardess, or if you want to stick with Harv's tips, we're going Springtown Lake at 7-1 for a bit of value. Now, we jump across the pond. We go to Leopardstown. We don't usually go Ireland.
Leopardstown.
Yeah, we don't usually go to Ireland on Harv's tips, but we're sort of sticking with sort of 4 horses, 4 races, which I think are competitive enough to where we can pick a winner. And, you know, I'm going to go straight away. Yeah, you know, it might be a boring pick. I might get a bit of grief, but I'm going for Felix Desjardins, the 7-year-old from Gordon Elliott. It's a tight price at 13.
Good pronunciation.
Oh, mate, full of it, mate. You've got to let the punters know what to back.
Yeah,
you know, he's made sort of an indifferent start on his chasing debut at Punchestown. So it won well at Punchestown. And then it's won its last 2 races, and the only time it hasn't won over these sort of distance and jumps is when it fell. So for me, that says if it jumps well, it should go again, and I can see no reason why. You know, it can't do it again. But what are you going for, Mouse?
I do think Felix Desjardins is a fairly strong favourite in this race, but he obviously trounced Darva Star last time. He's the 3rd favourite now. Must be 10 lengths or so. I think he'll beat Darva Star again. Reopposes. I think he will beat Darva Star. But I'm going to go for Black Belt here at 3-1.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't win over hurdles.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't win over hurdles, but was off the mark first time up over fences. And he looked better over fences than he did over hurdles. And I have got a big reason why I'm going to take on the favourite here.
Yeah.
Is because Black Boat has won a bumper at Wetherby on yielding ground. Oh, at Leopardstown, sorry, on yielding ground. And it's an unorthodox track. And Felix Desjardins not run there yet.
No, and you know, these are things you've got to look for.
You've got to back that on trust.
Yeah, if you're watching Harv's tips and you don't know a lot about horse racing, Ben's put a good point in there. You know, you've got to look for some sort of formula. You've got to look for pointers. You've got to look for signs. And actually, if you want to take on the market favourite, that is a strong case that he hasn't run at the track. I think course and distance for me is one of the biggest indicators. If you are struggling to pick a horse, you want to know it gets home round. But for me, on its day, Felix Desjardins should have too much. But these are the variables in horse racing. You know, these are why. You know, it's not an easy job tipping 4 winners every week.
Not at all, mate.
If it was that easy, mate, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you, unfortunately, mate. So Harv's tips is going number 5, the favourite in the 2:15 at Leopardstown, which is on ITV. It's 2 miles and 1 furlong. It's a chase. Pays 2 places at 13-8. Felix Desjardins, number 5, and yours truly, Mousy, our guest tipper. He's going for number 2, Black Bow.
Yeah, 3-1. I've got him up.
It's a nice price. It's a nice 7-year-old. It won last time out in Navan. You know, so there's 2. You know, hopefully we should get the first 2 in the market there. I see no reason.
The only slight doubt I might have with Black Bow is he could need further over time, but
it won last time.
I'm willing to take Felix Desjardins on at the prices.
Yeah, it won last time out against 14 runners. So, you know, the form is there. Whereas Desjardins, you know, the only time he sort of he's ran against 18 runners at Navan in July and won. And then next time out, he ran against 19 runners in a 2-miler and fell. So these are positive signs if you're going to go against Harv tips in this race. There's enough to suggest that 3-1 could be quite a generous price, and it might just be the Gordon Elliott Kennedy hype as well. You've got to remember that a lot of punters will just back that combo on the day just because it's a familiar sort of jockey trainer combo. So here we go then.
Big race.
The last one on the Harv's tips, four horses to watch, or if you follow Harv's tips, we do a £1 each way Yankee. The sort of, if you get a couple of winners, you're back in profit. So yeah, the 3 o'clock Kempton, the King George. I've won this race the last 2 years. The first year I won it was a friend of mine, had connections with Clan that day, and I backed it at 33-1, and it's not going to be 33-1 tomorrow, unfortunately.
Not at all, mate. Not at all.
Well, it'd be nice if it was. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I'll just run you through my selection and I'll tell you why. I'm going to go for Santini. Although Clan's won me a lot of money, it's won it. It doesn't need to prove anything in the betting market in terms of, it's going to give it a good go. Nichols is determined. Nichols, a few weeks back, he had a couple of runners and they were saying, why are you running it in that race? And it won it by 10 lengths. So Nichols knows best, in my opinion. But for me, Nicky Henderson, he needs a winner on this day. He's not won it for a few years. And Santini, all the sort of signs suggest that it's going to go well. The only caveat I would have with Santini is his running style is described as lazy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really matter because Henderson isn't going to send it in the 3 o'clock Kempton, the big one, in front of thousands of people if he thinks it's going to run a stinker, in my opinion. I may be wrong, but it's not, the course isn't to his liking. And he needs to stay 3 miles. If he stays, he wins it for me personally. He's a lovely 8-year-old. He's in good, the yard's in sort of relatively good form. He came second at Aintree in a Class 1 with 5 runners at 5th of December. So and then his other run was at Cheltenham where he came second again. He's won at Cheltenham as well in January. So, these are signs for me where I'm going to take on the market favourite of Clan de Zobo. Clan is a good horse, don't get me wrong, but for me at 6-1 Santini, Henderson needs a winner in this race, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also before his reappearance at Aintree, he was very bullish about his work at home. He said that it's impressed him at home, which is always, a positive sign.
Yeah.
But obviously, Surname and Clan de Zobo topping the market here. Surname weakened quickly last year in this race.
Yeah.
I don't have the confidence to back him. Clan de Zobo, he's...
Sorry, just on Surname. Interestingly, Cobden's gone for Surname again. What are your thoughts on that? Just before you get into your pick.
I thought he would have gone for Clan de Zobo, to be honest. I wouldn't see a reason to go with Surname over Clan de Zobo. He smashed him last year in this race. He loves the track, does Clan de Zobo. If I was the jockey, I'd be chosen to ride Clan de Zobo for sure. I think he's the stronger out of those two. Obviously, he smashed it last year. Ran a great race. He runs his best races at Kempton as well. But his overall form is generally quite inconsistent, and that's the one thing that slight puts me off with Clan de Zobo.
Well, I mean,
it's sort of always on. It's trusting on his past Kempton form rather than his overall form. He ran a good reappearance run in the Fair Chase behind Bristol de May, but what price is he? 15-8.
He's 2-1 currently.
I don't back it 15-8.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for that price. Obviously, you've mentioned Santini, Harv.
Yeah,
he can be a bit lazy. I think the 3 miles around Kempton might just be a bit too stiff for him. I don't know if he'll have the pace to win, but he's high on the list for me. But the one I'm going to go with is Lost in Translation, who obviously disappointed on his reappearance run, but I'm willing to draw a line through that because it was heavy ground.
Yeah.
So,
and
he's back to his optimum conditions today, and he's still got potential. He's fairly lightly race, only an 8-year-old,
Yeah.
and he's flopped a couple of times. But I think you could get him around 8-1. I think
Yeah.
he's great value
No,
to run
and
a big race.
he is actually in my tracker. He's marked as a starred horse that I sort of follow. But for me, I'm just going to take a punt that Henderson's going to get Santini. He needs the win for me for this season to sort of really have a good season. But lost in translation. It was third last time out at Haydock in a Class 1. 3 miles, 2 furlongs, and then he was third at Cheltenham in March, obviously. But the only warning sign for me why I wouldn't back him, and I chose Santini over him, is he did pull up at Cheltenham last year in a 3-mile race. So whether he's learned or
It was at Kempton in this race he pulled up last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 26th of
It was in the
December.
King George. Yeah, that's why he's had his. I think that's probably why he's such a big prize, because on his day, there's no doubt he's top class. But he has had his flops.
And also, I know we sort of trying to pick one horse each. Obviously, Santini for me, number 8 at 6-1, and you've gone lost in translation, number 5 you can get him at 15-2 at the minute. But talk to me about sort of, I just like, for a bit of each way value is St. Calvados.
St. Calvados.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting how they're running him here again. He's a progressive 7-year-old. He came second. He's very lightly raced. He's only raced twice this year. Twice at Cheltenham, came second twice, albeit over 2 miles 5. Whether he's 20-1 because he's just not going to stay. But if he stays, I think that's an interesting horse for the price.
Yeah, I've got one at a slightly bigger price as well, who interests me, and that's Waiting Patiently.
Yeah,
who's around 18-1 at the minute.
Yeah,
he was targeted at this race 2 years ago when Bristol de May fell and just really hampered him and unseated the rider.
Yes.
He's obviously had his problems. He's been out for so long, but it's his second try at this trick.
Yeah,
and it's interesting that they've gone for it on his reappearance after such a long time off, and it interests me.
That is, so, you say
he's class on his day. He's class on his day.
He came third at Sandown in his last race in a 2-mile Group 1 chase. So I mean, hats off to you, mate. If you spot the trend there, where he's 16-1 and he's only raced once in December the 7th, 2019 was his last race.
Yeah.
So that does sort of say why bring him in on a big stage if he's only ever run 3 miles once, and it was in this race where he was badly hampered a few years ago. And then obviously, I don't know whether Frodon's just running in there to sort of be a stable companion to the 2 front nickel horses, and just sort of, Brian, you can't ignore Bryony Frost. And
I think I'd love Frodon to run a big race, but it's not for me.
I can't see that. I think that's just there as a bit of padding for the 2 nickel horses up the front of the market.
Yeah, I agree.
As a bit of a pacemaker, and I think the market agrees, because on Frodon's day, it's an unbelievable horse. But at 28-1, I don't think, unless there's a massive change in the market, I think you can safely scratch that out. However,
I think he'll find a few which will be too good for him.
However, the way the world works, you can clip that at about 3:07 when it's won by 5 lengths and have a good laugh.
Yeah.
But no,
what a way to know.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And then, obviously, we're trying to keep this quick and snappy. I've got a nap of the day. Obviously, I don't expect you to sort of just thrown it out there, but for me, as a single bet, I've got Rose of Arcadia at Wincanton in the first. And why I say that is I backed it a couple of days ago at 9-4. It's now coming strong at 13-8. The Tizzards were on at the races and they were talking up this horse. And he said if he has one horse that's going to win tomorrow, it's Rose of Arcadia. They absolutely love it. I think the Tizzards are great racing people, and I can't understand why they wouldn't be honest about a horse when they've got a chance for it. So if you want to have a look at a single bet, Rose of Arcadia, you can back it at 13-8 at the minute. It's number 16 in the 225 at Wincanton. It's a 1 mile 7, but it's it's coming as tight favourite. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that they've sort of all the horses they've got running this week, that tomorrow that they sort of shout about the Rose of Arcadia. And then, do you want to just touch on what you want to look at Wetherby tomorrow? If you're going to have a bet on one track, what do you look for in a Wetherby race? In terms of,
there's one horse I do actually really like tomorrow at Wetherby.
Which is that?
It's in the 12:53, and
yeah,
it's a Imperial Icon.
Yeah,
and you can get him at 9-4 at the minute. He's 9-4 favourite at the minute. His race last time at Hereford, he just got up on the line over 2 mile 3 furlong. Stayed on really, really strongly. Same trip today, but as I said earlier, the Wetherby long straight does favour the stayers.
Yeah,
and I think the track will really suit this horse. And he's unexposed. He really catches my eye tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I think he'll run a big race.
They've got Bass on board.
David Bass has gone to Wetherby instead of Kempton.
Yeah, and that usually,
so
if you're new to horse racing,
I think he's my nap of the day tomorrow.
So your nap's Imperial Icon in the 12:53 at Wetherby, and my nap's sort of Rose of Arcadia.
12:53.
Yeah, 12:53. And then it's interesting because I've had a look at sort of a couple of outsiders. I'm going to tweet out a Wetherby bet tomorrow, and I've got Blaster Yeats, Ryan Marner, and Sue Smith. Sue Smith always has a winner.
Same race, yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of why I've came fifth last time out in at Wetherby. It ran 3 miles. It's now dropping back to 2 miles 3, which tells you that it should stay. Like you said, you want to stay around that track. But the only positive is it's the third race in. If if it rains tonight, it's going to be an absolute slog for these poor horses come the last race of the day. But no. So what I'll do is I'll clip the bets up. I'll get them tweeted out. Ben, Mousy, pleasure as always, mate. If you just want to shout your 4 horses out quickly, just so they can follow that.
So I've got 1 second, just get my notes back up, mate. So
the 150 at Kempton, I think I remember.
Yeah, the 150, that's the big breakaway.
Yeah.
The 205 at Wetherby is
Snow Leopardess, number 9.
Snow Leopardess, yeah.
And then
the 215 at Leopardstown is Black Bow,
number 2.
And then the 3 o'clock is Lost in Translation.
Yeah, the big one, Lost in Translation, number 5, currently 50-2, and I've gone number 8, Santini. Well, like I said, mate, pleasure. Thanks for coming in. Give it another voice.
Mate, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, always get another opinion. There'll be no halves, tips, footy bets on the video today. It's just a straight racing one because it's such a big day in the racing calendar.
Yeah, can't wait for it.
Yeah, and good luck, mate, and thanks for coming on.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, all the best. God bless.